So today I really want to share some thoughts on living through this time, layoffs and big change, and it can be a little bit scary. Okay, so I want to talk to you depending on where you're at, and I'm thinking you might be in one of three situations. The first one is you have a job, you enjoy it, you're not looking for something new. Maybe sometimes you were thinking about it, but it's all like good stuff, right? And once in a while, maybe you get scared hearing about the layoffs. You might have a little bit of fear, like, what if I'm next? The second situation you might find yourself in is you really don't like what you're doing. You were thinking about quitting. You are considering a big career change. Um, what do you do now? You feel quite discouraged or afraid because of the climate. And then the third situation you might be in is that you've been laid off, or you quit your job, or maybe you quit when the job market was really good and now you're still looking for a job. And so you have a whole other pressure during this time. Okay, so I want to go one by one, right? Some quick thoughts for you. So, number one, if you have a job, even if you don't have it, by the way, in whatever category you're in, right, it's always a good idea to give to others. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but nothing makes us sometimes be a little bit more grounded and positive than reconnecting with what we can contribute to somebody else. So depending on where you are in these categories, right? But especially if you're number one, like meaning you have a job, you like it, take a friend out for lunch, call somebody that lost a job and help them brainstorm ideas on what they can go after next. Um, get in touch with a past colleague and help them with the resume. In other words, like give some of your time, and don't give it because you want to build a business out of it or you want to look good. No, do it because there's something really rewarding and grounding when we have and we can give back. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we never can control jobs. It feels like there's a lot of security, but the reality is, especially in the United States, we can lose it anytime, right? So make sure to be your best, show up at work, in focused and present and with the intention of being a contribution. Cultivate healthy, positive professional dynamics. Keep networking, keep sharing your knowledge. Trust that as long as you do your part, things will be okay. And if you lose your job, you will have already um, sort of planted the seeds for whatever needs to happen next. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about if you have a job but you really dislike it and you really, really want to quit or do a career change, and now you're feeling very scared about it. Okay. So, first of all, I I'm a little bit maybe I don't know if other people talk about this a lot, actually, I have to say, but I definitely know that this is something that's very present for me, which is it's not a good idea to make decisions when we're really wrapped up one way or the other. Okay. So even if the job market was great, I would still say, wow, if you're having a super bad time, maybe take a little bit of time to recenter. Okay. And then from a place of centering yourself and wisdom, choose what to do next. Okay. Nobody can tell you whether to quit your job or not, but I think recentering is key at the beginning. Then the second part is that sometimes from that place of having ourselves, we can realize that, there are things we can do um, to enjoy our time a little bit more, or not to be taken in so much. But sometimes when we regroup, we feel like this is not possible. Then, of course, it's always good to have a bit of a plan before quitting. Okay. And especially right now that it seems harder to get a job. If you instead are thinking about working for yourself, well, remember that even those of us who are self-employed are hit by the economy not doing very well or people feeling discouraged and so forth, right? Depending on what you're doing. So really take a look at your industry, take a look at what you want to do next, and don't be afraid to plan, and don't be afraid to also take big steps, maybe being a little bit bolder than what you were thinking, but still use your head. So, again, the key here is always to come from a place of centeredness and quiet and not reaction. Okay, so whether you're taking a risk or you're playing it safe, quote unquote, and that means different things for different people, there's a whole range. You're not in reaction, you're in creation, you're in action. All right. The third thing is, if you right now you're going through some hard feelings and a lot of fear or discouragement because you're in between things and you're bombarded by news that, there's no jobs and people are losing jobs and so forth. So first of all, remember that you're only looking for one job. Okay, so you don't need everything to get back to normal. I don't even know if there's a normal anymore. You don't have to wait until there's an upswing in the market. Um, you need one position. Okay. The first thing is take action and don't stay too much in your head. When we are struggling with something like this, it's very easy to spend all our time in our head or having negative conversations with people, and then we don't even realize how our insecurity like grows and grows and grows, and we see less and less possibilities. Instead, take action and have positive conversations with people, whether you're reaching out for informational interviews or you want to talk with a friend or something. Don't get into a whole like poor me or things are hard. Get instead in like, this is what I would like to do, this is what I'm passionate about, this is, can you help me brainstorm some ideas to move forward. Anything that's like constructive. Okay, leave a little bit of time for venting. I'm not saying you cannot do it, okay? We all need to get that stuff off our chest. But really keep your mind on the ball in a positive way. The third part is, and I know this was gonna sound counterintuitive, but give something. I don't mean money if you have no money, but connect with the fact that you are full of uh, skills and talents and heart, and you are you. Job or no job, money or no money, you are you, and there's always somebody who needs something, even if it's just like some listening. I remember at a time in my life when I was really struggling with what to do and financially, a friend of mine was going through something hard and she started calling me, every day. And just to be able to be there for her and support her in overcoming her challenge, it sort of gave me strength, paradoxically. So really consider what is something that you can do that's kind or that's giving. It doesn't even have to be work related. It can be noticing one of your neighbors who's lonely and spending some time with them, or walking somebody's dog because they need some help, and your friend needs some help, and you want something to do. So something that will again reconnect you to the fact that you have a lot going on. You have people, there's much more in life than a job. I know when we're struggling with that, it feels like survival, but really, life is so much more than the job. Which brings me to the last thing, that whether you have savings and can take this easy and maybe are even intentionally taking time off from work, or you're struggling, You cannot be in a struggling mode 24/7. In fact, struggling mode usually puts us in reaction. Take some time, even if it's like a little part of your time, to reconnect with what really matters to you, to think about what's your purpose, what are your values, what do you really want, and rest in it, not from a, oh no, I don't have it, it's so hard. No, rest in it, reconnect with that, remember. And it's sort of like, do a perspective shift, right? It's a moment in time and things will change, but you can during this moment get in touch with something deeper. Last but not least, and this is for everybody, when we're stressed out and we have these insecure thoughts and there's a collective narrative of scarcity, it is very easy to fall into that narrative ourselves and to make excuses for behaviors that are not okay, to lapse in integrity, to have an attitude of unhealthy competition, to look at other people as not a fellow people on the journey with us, but as people we have to one up, right? It's very easy to blame, all these things. And look, I've done these things too, like, I think that's why I'm mentioning them, because we don't realize that when we get down in a low mood, in an insecure state of mind, when we get into that struggling energy, that we forget you know how we usually behave and what we really sometimes hold ourselves up to. It's all the standards lower. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Pay attention to that, because that's where real strength of character comes from. And that will give you resilience and a way to be in this moment that you can always look back and say, I held to my values, I treated people with integrity, I connected and stayed open when I was, instead of contracting and closing up and becoming defensive. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But this is why today I want to remind you of it. Because later, when you get the job you want, when you found a new career, when you started a new business, when this has passed, you will look back and you will realize how much you've grown.